Hi everybody, this is Boogass Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Platinum Jade figure. So before we take a look at Jade, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So first up, she comes with her standard DC Multiverse base, which she does benefit from using. You can see that she has these heels, and she's pretty tricky to get standing. It's not impossible, but this base definitely helps her to stand up without worrying if she's going to fall over. Up next, you get her data file. Really cool shot of the comic right there. Almost looks like Adam Hughes art. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it looks pretty cool. And if you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. Up next, she comes with these standard accessory holding hands. And I really wish McFarlane Toys would start including some relaxed hands with their figures. I think the alternate open hands that came with Wonder Woman's, the ones that were kind of like this, I think that should be standard for all female figures. I think they should all come with relaxed hands. It just looks really funny when they don't come with any accessories and they have accessory holding hands. And finally, she comes with these alternate effects pieces for hands. And these are reused from the Raven figure. Originally, they were magic effects. And just like the ones that came with Raven, I'm not super fond of these. I mean, the translucent green does look cool, but I feel like they just look funny. Maybe it's because they barely sculpted hands. If you look really hard, you can see that there's fingers and hands sculpted, so there is a left and a right side. There is a specific way for each of them to go on. But I feel like it should be a little more pronounced. It kind of just looks like flames are shooting out of her wrists. If the hands would have been a little more pronounced and sculpted on better, I think it would have looked better. So yeah, I'm not really fond of these. I definitely wish McFarlane would have given us some new effects parts for this figure. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at her head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I think McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job at sculpting and painting it, or printing it I should say. All of the details on her face, like her eyes and lips, are actually printed on there. And it's very subtle, but they did paint some variation over top of her face. You can see towards her cheek where the base color is showing through, and they painted light green over top of that. And I think that looks really good, the way it gives it a little bit of variation. I think the hair is also sculpted really nicely. I believe it's also cast in a lighter color green too, because if you look towards the edges of her hair here, it gets a little bit lighter. So I think it's cast in a lighter green and then has this darker green painted over top of it. But it still looks really good. I think the hair sculpt is really nice. At first I thought this was the Batwoman Beyond head sculpt. I don't know why, maybe because they are a little similar, but after looking up pictures, I'm pretty sure they're different. McFarlane Toys did reuse the Catwoman body mold. You do get a new diaper piece, but everything else on the figure is reused, even the accessory holding hands. I think that's actually why she had accessory holding hands. So you can see that this is what the original body mold looked like. I think this is a pretty smart reuse. I still think this is a really good body mold. I do like this figure. This is one of my favorite DC Multiverse figures that McFarlane did. The Starheart logo is painted on very well. It almost has like a 3D effect to it. It's just painted really well. There's no sculpt or anything to it, but I think it looks really good. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot to go over with this figure. As I said, you do get the new diaper piece. I will say that on the left side, the paint apps get a little spotty from where they painted the white on. On the right side, it's pretty clean. I think that line is pretty crisp, but it gets a little blurry right here. That could have been painted a little bit better. But yeah, that's really about all to go over with this figure. So now let's go ahead and go over her articulation. So she has a ball-jointed head. Can't look back at all because of the sculpt of the hair. She can look down all the way. She can move her head side to side and around just a little bit. She has shoulders that can move out very nicely. They don't really spin around that far. These butterfly joints are pretty hindered. She has swivel at the bicep that can move side to side, double jointed elbows that can bend all the way in. She has some really good articulation there. Wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around. She has a ball jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back just a little bit. She can move forward a decent amount. She can move side to side a little bit up here. The side to side movement in the waist is a little bit better. And she can move all the way around. She has hips that can do a complete split. She can kick forward just about all the way. She can kick back all the way. The thigh swivel is pretty hindered. I wish they would have made it so that she had more of a thigh swivel. She has double jointed knees that can move back all the way. Ankles that can move down all the way. Up all the way, spin all the way around, and toe articulation that can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up here she is next to the Nightfall Catwoman figure, the figure that she shares most of her parts with. Here she is next to the Platinum Alan Scott figure. Here she is next to Kyle Rayner. Here she is next to Jon Stewart. And finally here she is next to another modern member of the JSA, Dr. Fate. So overall, I think McFarlane Toys did a decent job on this figure for the most part. It's mostly reused parts, but that doesn't really bother me since it does use the Nightfall Catwoman body. If you have that figure, you'll know what to expect from this one, but I still think it's a pretty nice figure, especially since they updated this with a new diaper piece. Now, originally when people were finding this, it wasn't in Walmart's system at all, but when I got it, it actually did ring up and show Jade. So I believe that it's fixed now in their system. So if you're wanting to find this, you'll have to look for it at Walmart. I believe that's the only place that's showing up at the moment. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.